When I first meet with first-time homebuyers, I like to do a sit down where we talk about your wants and your needs and your dreams. So this is all about buying a home. And then this part talks about the buying process. So the first part is meeting with a realtor, getting qualified with a lender, figuring out what houses you want to see, and then going to see those homes. When you find the one you like, then we negotiate the contract for you. When it's accepted, you're considered under contract, and that's when your earnest money is due. Earnest money is usually 1% of the sales price of the home, and then the seller gives us their seller disclosures, then due diligence, we go in, do an inspection, make sure you're comfortable, have the appraiser come out, do financing, send your loan through underwriting, which is the worst part. Sorry, lenders. And then settlement and closing. So from under contract to close is about a 30-day process. And I've had clients buy the first house they've seen, and I've had clients take months and months for shopping. It kind of depends on you and your timeline. Then in my consultation, I like to talk about not being house poor, because lenders can qualify for you, depending on the loan, up to 55% of your income towards a debt payment. And that is insane. So I recommend looking at the payment you're comfortable with, not necessarily the max qualification. And then in my consultation, we'll dive into the different loan options based off of your credit score, your down payment, and where you're shopping. There might be different loans that make more sense. When you meet with your lender, if you're self-employed, they're going to want to see your 30-day pay stubs, 2 months of your bank statements, 2 years of your W-2s, tax returns, and your taxes. Self-employed, a little more complicated. They're gonna see a lot more, but this is what I'm talking about in my consult. Then we like to talk about, this one talks about distressed homes. So if you actually book a consultation with me, we'll actually go through all of this. How do you feel about homes that need work? Short sales, foreclosures, bank-owned homes, all of those options, where do you feel comfortable? And if they work for your criteria, we're gonna go see them. Then we talk about open houses. Open houses are usually how new agents get clients, or they do potentially sell homes in the higher price point. So don't go to open houses. We'll just go around your schedule, and then we'll also talk about new construction as I move. There's different types of new construction, and most of the inventory is not actually online. So if you want to go new construction, there's a lot more offline research that I'm going to do to help find you all the options available. And then we'll talk about due diligence, because Utah is a buyer beware state, which means once you find a problem, it is now your concern if you buy the house and don't go through it. So it is worth it to spend the time and effort to feel comfortable with your due diligence. And then we'll talk about, how do you feel about HOAs? Because some people hate them, some people love them, and I want to make sure we're buying the property that you feel comfortable with. And then we'll talk about how showings work. I like to see 4 to 5 homes at a time to help you compare and contrast and get comfortable with what's available in the market. And then we'll jump online and we'll actually look at homes. So if you're considering buying a home and you want to do this in-depth analysis for yourself, reach out. We can do it online or in person and go through the buying process here in Utah.